Hello and welcome to day 1 of Animal Music, week 1, module 1. This is a class about animals for animals because, like all the people up here and animals, we too are animals. I was raised by monkeys. They were apes, technically, and they like to think of themselves as great apes, as do I. But really, all apes are great, even the lesser ones, the gibbons. We're all monkeys, and apes, primates, we're all mammals. All mammals are, in a sense, reptiles, along with the birds. All the reptiles, if you go back far enough, were amphibians and fish. So in a sense, we all are fish. That's a perspective that you might understand a little bit more by the end of the second presentation for this week. But for now, what you can think about is this class is definitely a class in the music of animals other than humans, but I am hoping that it is going to be of interest and relevance to us as human animals ourselves. Well, here's a little bit about me. Hello, my name is David Bashwiner, and I have been teaching at UNM for 10 years. My job is in the music department where I teach classes in music theory. I like to think of music theory as the grammar of music. In this class, though, we are taking a pretty broad perspective on what this grammar is, even asking what music is. Are animals musical? Or are humans the only musical animal? We are going to find out. In my research, I spend most of my time studying the musical brain. Recently, I have been doing this primarily by studying the brains of different animals as they perform songs for various purposes, usually to influence other members of the species, just like we do. So, we can expect to learn just as much about ourselves as musical animals in this course as we will be learning about other animals. Here's a description that I wrote for the course. The course examines the songs, calls, dances, and displays of animal species from across the phylogenetic continuum, from mosquitoes, crickets, and cicadas, to fish, frogs, birds, whales, and apes, including ourselves, the human apes. Most animals communicate with one another through sound. We humans tend to think that the specific ways that we do this, which we give the lofty terms of speech and song to, are unique to our species, and that other animals are less complex in how they use sound. Such views, however, tend to shift with greater exposure to how animals actually do use sound to communicate, how they produce sounds, how they combine sounds to form motives, phrases, songs, and repertoires, how they choose appropriate songs or vocalizations according to context, and how they interpret and react to the sonic expressions of others of their species. As humans, we have trouble seeing the behaviors of our own species with fresh eyes. A main goal of the course is to gain perspective on what music is for us by seeing how other animals use their vocalizations in ways that are sometimes strikingly similar and sometimes shockingly different. A complementary goal is to develop new habits of paying attention to the natural world around us, so as to help us hear and appreciate the music of life itself going on around us all the time. Now, for a list of enduring understandings. When you look back on this course 5 years from now, what I hope to have endured in your thoughts about the course, I hope you will have come to hear the natural world in a new way, that you'll be attentive still to the complexities of animal communication along all the many channels it's transmitted on, even those that are not readily apparent to us. Some sounds that elephants make are below what we can hear. Some sounds that bats make are above what we can hear. And sometimes they may be too slow or too fast for us to really appreciate. So another way in which maybe you will have come to hear the natural world in a new way is that you're still curious about the cognitive capacities of different animals, their social interactions, and their creativity and aesthetic sense, and that you will still be in an empathetic relationship with the natural world, thankful for what it offers you and inspired to return the favor. I also hope that you will have come to hear human music in a new way. Humans are animals, after all. In what ways are our own uses of sound in language and music like those of other animals? In what ways are they different? How do we use the sounds that we do use? Consonants and vowels in speech, sung notes or percussions in music. The way that we divide the pitch continuum into scales are discrete pitches, but in music. The way we use harmonies and chords, do the other animals do that? The types of timbres that we use in music and how we use timbre differently in language. I think all those things are things that we'll be paying attention to still 5 years from now. Why in human music do we sequence sounds the way we do? Why do we put things in a certain order? Why do we arrange things metrically or rhythmically so that there's some sort of predictability? There's like a beat that you can tap to. Why do we use so much repetition in melodies and in larger forms? The chorus of a song might repeat many times. Same with the refrain of a rondo form. Why do we not just produce musical textures? We tend to write songs that are specific songs, and then we play them over and over again. We remember them as the specific song. So the song Happy Birthday, it doesn't matter what key it's in, it doesn't matter how fast or slow it goes, we always think of it as that one song, and it has a specific occasion. Do other animals do that? How does improvisation work in humans? How does creativity work? And then, are there animals that are creative? And if so, are they creative in the same sorts of ways as us? Can we learn things from them? Can we learn more things about ourselves by studying how animals are creative? Do humans improvise and create in the same way as other animals? Which aspects of this are similar and which are different? And then we can also think about what learning is when we learn music or learn language or learn anything. Do other animals learn songs and instruments even the way we do? Do parents and some animals teach their young? Are vocalization patterns that animals use innate, are they inborn, or are they learned and are they flexible? Can the animal change those vocalizations, or are they just wired into the system? And then we'll also hopefully be thinking still about how different types of song, work, piece of music, genre, how those things function in different contexts. Why is it weird to play techno music in church or organ music at a dance club? Are there comparable taboos in animals? And hopefully you will still be thinking how interesting it is to be able to listen to music from different groups of people from all over the world, how people structure their music differently, the types of sounds they use, the types of scales and rhythms. When you can get into the right mindset where you really appreciate that, it is just a vast wealth of amazing creativity, genius, and inspiration. I really hope that this class, by looking at diversity of using sound in a bunch of animal species, will transfer to you thinking about human music in the same way. And one thing to think about on this front is, do animals have culture? Does it work in the same way as human culture? And then a last thing that I hope that you'll still be thinking about is that you will at least still be continuing to appreciate what science can tell us about music and musicality. People sometimes see biology as deterministic, that it's limiting, that if there's a certain thing that is biological, then it just is that way. But what I really hope to show you in this class is that looking at something like music, musical culture biologically, can really open up a window onto these vast unexplored realms of creativity, inspiration, and genius. I think by you learning about some certain things that whales do, certain things that various species of bird do, looking at music in that way has the potential to be very inspiring, very eye-opening, and basically the opposite of whatever deterministic would be. So that is my goal for you in this course. I'm looking forward to meeting you. When office hour times do come out, please do come visit me, because it's very nice to meet you face-to-face. The Flipgrid videos will give us a chance to see each other face-to-face too, and you get to meet everybody else in the class. Special bonus, a bunch of different animals.